So to get started, I'm going to be taking my Revlon cream eyeshadows in khaki suede. And this is in my current project pan. I'm just trying to get this palette used up. So I'm going to be taking this light shade here. And this is kind of like a light green shimmery shade. I'm going to be using that as a base. And then I'm going to be taking my Revolution Chilled palette. I'm going to be taking this dark green shade over here in Plant and apply that on the crease. I've had this palette for, I would say, like 5 or 6 years. And I have been enjoying using it. I don't use it enough, so this year I plan on using it a little more. So I'm just basically taking that and applying that to the crease and then kind of blending that all around the lids. And then next to it, I'm going to be applying this shimmery green shade here in the color Dope. And this is just a really pretty metallic swamp green color. And we're just going to apply that to the lids. And then we're going to kind of go towards the inner corner, kind of fill in that gap. I think I'm going to put a shimmery shade in the corner actually. And then I'm going to be taking that dark shade in Plant and reapply more color to kind of deepen that up. And then going in with my fingers again in this shade, I'm just going to apply more. And then we're also going to be bringing up the shimmer to the crease as well. And then I'm going to be taking my NYX face glue. And we just need a very little bit of that. And I'm going to apply that to the center of the lid. So I'm just going to apply that mostly to the center of the lid. Because that's where we're going to be putting our glitter shade next. Because we really want that glitter to stick on and not have so much fallouts. I'm going to be taking this ultra glittery green shade here in Bud, and we're going to be applying that right where we put that NYX glue. Then apply it until I reach the full coverage that I'm going for. It's a little bit easier to use your fingertips. And as you can see, this glitter is kind of like chunky. And it's a little bit trickier to apply. But I like to just kind of apply more of that face glue and do another coat of that glitter. I want to see if I can get a full coverage on the lid. I honestly don't think I'm going to be able to. I did try this out on my hand first. And it applied really well, but this is kind of tricky. Trying to get my use out of all the beautiful shadows in here. Okay, so that's the best I could do. I'm using the glitter. They don't really stay on the lid without the NYX face glue. Honestly, I don't really know if I like the glitter. It's a little bit patchy to me. That's okay. My entire goal is to kind of get my use out of every single shadow in this video. You can just kind of see how these shadows hold up each day. So I don't know, this one right here, I'm not sure about it. I feel like the glitter is a little bit too chunky for my liking. And this one looks similar. And this one here has that similar chunkiness. However, this one is a little bit more fine. Maybe once I do that makeup look that day, I'll have better luck. But this one, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't like the sensation of that glitter on my lashes. It kind of feels like it's poking my lids. I'm always like so nervous to get glitter in my eyeball. So I don't know, we'll just continue going with it. So then I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and then come back to do the under eye. And then we're just going to kind of keep it simple today. And I'm going to be reapplying this shade in Dope right under the eyes. And then I kind of want to add more depth to the outer corner. So I'm going to be taking this shade again in Plant. And just apply the smallest amount to the outer corner. And we're just going to add a little bit and not go too crazy with the darker color. Next, we're going to be taking my Wet n Wild Chameleon Chrome Eyeliner in Superstar Suit. And this is just a really pretty chrome green shade. And then we're just gonna kind of run that under the eye. I'm obsessed with everything that came from this chrome line. And I feel like they should have done a whole eyeshadow palette, because can you imagine if they did like chrome eyeshadows? Like, I think that would be a great seller. It'll probably sell out. It's like adding that touch of green. It adds like more like pizzazz to the eye. And you know, we're going to be taking that, and I think that's going to be my inner corner shade. I was going to use one of the gold colors, but I could do that in another look. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and just add this shade for the inner corner. It's kind of like a white gold color. I'm just going to get my fingertips and apply it. Oh, that is so beautiful. I love that. And then I went ahead and I applied my L'Oreal Butterfly Mascara. And is it me, or is this mascara supposed to be kind of like stinky? Like, it smells horrible. And I actually bought this last month. I paid like $5 for it because it was on clearance at Fry's grocery store. And I cannot stand the smell. Like, even when I'm applying it here, I can still smell it and it stinks. Is that normal for this mascara? Do you guys, let me know in the comments if you guys have any issues with this smelling absolutely horrible. Is that with all L'Oreal Paris mascaras? Because my Maybelline mascaras don't have that smell. I might have to toss this, and I really don't want to because I love this. But I might have to get a new one. Let me know down below in the comments. I went ahead and applied some highlighter. I used the AOA Studio Emerald Peacock. And this is from Miss A. I kind of just like swirled the colors together. And it creates like a really nice subtle shimmer. I didn't want to go too crazy with the highlighter only because I'm using a dewier foundation today. For the powder foundation, I just kind of use my regular e.l.f. Halo Glow and then my mixed up foundation. And then For the powder, I used the McoBeauty Miracle Flawless Press Powder. And honestly, I feel like this shade is a little bit too dark. I might have to pick up another shade, probably like a lighter one. This is just what it looks like. This is the shade Medium Warm. And then for the bronzer, I'm using my e.l.f. Luminous Bronzer. And for my blush today, I am using my IONI Liquid Blush. This is perfect for every day. And then you'll see in my future clips in this video, I'm going to be using this all week as well as this palette. Just because I feel like this blush complements this palette really nicely. And it pretty much will go with all the looks I have planned out. So yeah, you cannot go wrong with the IONI blushes. And then for my lips today, I was kind of feeling a berry color. So I am using the Mercerie. This has no name on it. This is just kind of a lip stain in a berry shade. All right, on to the next look. Welcome to day 2. Alright, so to get started, I am going to be taking my Revlon cream eyeshadow. And I'm going to be taking this nude shade right here and put that all over the lid. And I actually curled my hair today because we're going to be going, me and my husband are going to be going to a brunch today. And it's also going to be fairly a busy day. And I don't know. I haven't curled my hair in a couple months and I wanted to look nice. I'm going to be taking this shade in Relax. And this shade is kind of like a nude, it's like a nude brown shade. And I'm going to be using this to kind of transition the colors. Yeah, and we're going to be going to this Mexican restaurant, which I've never been to. And then let's see, there's actually going to be a little market around that area, so we're going to do some shopping. Next, I'm going to be taking this shade in Cool, and I'm going to apply that to my outer corner. But yeah, we're going to be doing some shopping today. We also have to go to Costco to get some groceries. And we're probably going to end up going to Fry's as well. Maybe Walmart. I hope we'll have enough time for me to go to Dollar Tree today. Because I want to see what they have. I saw that they have been stocking Valentine's Day stuff. I've been seeing it on TikTok. I haven't seen it in my Dollar Trees yet, but I haven't been to Dollar Tree in about 2 weeks, I think. Now I want to kind of see if I can get some new skincare items to try out. Oh, there's also Bath and Body Works. They're having their semi-annual sale. And I want to go there before that ends, because that's like a once-a-year thing. And I actually have to pick up some like winter body care and fragrances. I mean, I don't need more, but do I want more? Yes. I really want to see if I can pick up some of their body products in the Milk Bar collection. So next, I'm going to be taking this shade in XL and then apply that to the inner corner. But yeah, if I can't find what I'm looking for at Bath and Body Works, then I'm not going to worry about it. I purposely didn't go the first day of the sale. I don't know, just because like I haven't really been in the mood to shop. Even though I'm technically shopping, like I don't know, I haven't been like in the mood for it, I guess. And I tend to go through like phases like that where I want to shop a lot and I want to buy up everything. For example, today I do want to do some shopping, but like I don't know. Like it's just really weird. I think the first day of the sale was December 30th. And that day I just wasn't feeling up for it. And I thought I was gonna go and get some stuff, but I ended up not. This is a really pretty shade. And then I'm gonna be taking this shimmery shade in Sativa. I think that's how you say it, Sativa. And it's kind of like the same, and it's kind of the same shade as this one. It just has some shimmer in it. And I'm going to be applying that on the top where I put that brown. But yeah, I don't know how long this sale lasts. I think it's just until they like sell out, or I don't know, I can't remember. I think it ends this like maybe the second week of January. So I don't really have that much time left. And this is actually, when I'm filming this, it is Saturday. And this is going to be my last Saturday off of my winter break from my small business. And then after that, we're busy every single Saturday. And then like throughout the week, and then I don't have any like extra time off until maybe the summertime. But springtime's gonna be pretty busy for us. I really love how that turned out. So I basically use these like natural shades here. And this is actually my first time actually using the browns here. And I'm obsessed with this. This is really pretty. And I'm going to be applying this shade again in Cool under the eyes. And then I'm going to be taking the dark brown shade in Burn. And I'm just going to kind of line the outer half of my eyes. Take that and then get the outer corner. And then for my cheeks, I actually misplaced that blush I was using, that Dollar Tree IONI blush. But once I find it again, I'm gonna kind of replace it. But I used my e.l.f. Halo Glow blush, and this is in the shade You Go Cocoa, and I just put that under my powder. And then my foundation is the same as always, my Mix and my e.l.f. Halo Glow. Since we are going to be out all day, I'm going to be using my Sky High mascara. My lips for today, it's actually going to be my AOA Studio Perfect lipstick, or this is a lip gloss in Dollhouse, and then my LA Colors Gel Lip Liner and Better Than Bare. And I'm not going to put this on today because I'm running late, but I'm going to be wearing these today. Completed look. See you on day 3. Day number 3. I'm going to be taking my Revlon Khaki Suede eyeshadow, and I'm going to be taking this brush here, and I'm going to be taking this green shade here, Apply this all over the lid. And then we're going to be taking this bright green shade here in Leaf and apply that all over the lid. This is actually my favorite color in this palette and my most used one out of all the shades here. It's just such a gorgeous shade, and I feel like it's perfect for like every day, especially like in the springtime or like for like St. Patrick's Day even. Like I feel like it's not too bright and it's not too much of like a Christmas green. And I'm just gonna basically be taking this color and blending it all over the eye. And then we're gonna be taking this shade here in Candyland. And this is just a really beautiful, bright, shimmery mint color. Very similar to this color here. And I'm gonna be taking the other side of my eyeshadow brush. Apply that all over the lid. And these two colors here are just so beautiful together. They're kind of like a one and done look. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to use other colors. So this is all for the main colors today. We are going to use one more color. And I'm going to be taking my NYX face glue. So with an angled brush, I'm going to be taking this glittery green shade here and apply that to the lid or where I put that glue. And I'm basically just using tapping motions. I'm not going to be swiping my brush because then I'm just going to brush away all of that glitter. I'm going to pack that on as much as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up under the eyes, apply my foundation and blush, and then we'll work on the under eye. And my drink of the day is the IONI Energy in Winter Wonderland. And I just love the packaging to this. It's just like so beautiful. And I think next week I'm going to be creating an eye look based on this packaging. I know Christmas is like way over, but I don't know, like the pinks and the greens are really pretty. And then for under the eyes, I think I'm just going to go in with this cream gold shade. Just to kind of add something a little bit different. And it's not going to add like a lot of color, but it's going to add a little bit of something. It's not showing up as much. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of this shade here in Huff. And this is kind of like a brown shade. Okay, that is kind of the color I was looking for. Because I have a lot going on the lid, I kind of wanted to have like a muted like shimmer under here. And then for my bottom lashes, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Sky High Mascara. And then for my top lashes, I'm going to be using my Voluminous Butterfly Mascara from L'Oreal Paris. And this is in the black shade. And this one is not waterproof, but because I'm going to be filming a couple of videos today, I don't want to have any mascara rubbing off under my eyelids because I feel like it's just what happens most. When I was younger, I actually had a lot of, I had like oily eyelids and it would rub off here. But nowadays it rubs off right under the eye. And then for my foundation powder, I just use my typical e.l.f. Halo Glow and DIY foundation. And then I use my McoBeauty Flawless powder. And I also use my bronzer drops, and I just took these bronzer drops and I kind of put it where I would put my bronzer. And then over that, once I was done putting the powder foundation on, I got that brush and I got this fluffy brush and I just kind of swirled it around and I just put this heavily on the cheeks because I kind of want to have something warm for this look. And then for my cheeks and highlighter, I'm wearing my Maybelline Fit Me, what is this? Medium Coral. And this is just like an older shade I have in my project pan. And then I also took my Emerald Peacock highlighter palette and I kind of swirled both of these together, kind of make a super bright highlighted cheeks. This actually worked out really well. I love how it turned out, and I haven't worn an orange blush in like probably since the summertime, and I don't know, like I'm kind of feeling like an orange blush today. It's been pretty warm out this week, so it's kind of feeling like springtime right now. And then for my lips today, I'm going to go with something basic. I'm going to be wearing my NYX Fat Oil Lip Balm, and this is in the shade Going Viral. Alright, and that is my completed look for today. See you tomorrow. Welcome to day 4. I'll be taking this nude shade here, and we're just going to apply that all over the lids. Today I'm going to be taking this shade here in Relax, and I'm just going to apply that all over the lid. And then I'm going to be taking this shade in Plant, and I'm going to be applying that to the crease. And then I'm going to be taking this brush here and kind of blend that out. And then I'm going to be taking a little bit more of that dark green shade and just kind of even out that color. And then we're going to be taking this metallic light brown shade in Sativa, and I'm going to be applying that to the outer corners. I'm kind of going in circular motions. I'm trying my best not to touch the lid. And I feel like I have more on this side, so I'm just going to apply more on the other side. I feel like I blended that out a little bit too far. And then I'm going to be taking this cream gold shade in Acapulco. And I'm going to take my finger and apply that on top of that nude shade. Okay, this applies so much better with the finger. Because the other day I used a brush like for under the eyes and I couldn't really see the color. This is so beautiful. So I'm going to be adding some to the inner corner or the inner lid. Bring in the other shade again, that nude shade we used earlier. And I'm going to apply a little bit on top of that green to kind of bring back that color. And with a finger, I'm going to kind of reapply the colors a little bit. And for that green shade, because it's kind of like vibrant, I'm just going to lightly tap that color back in. Whenever I apply eyeshadows, I like to kind of create a sandwich. So I will initially do a base layer of where I want the colors, and then I'll add the lid shade, and then I'll go back in with the outer corner colors. It's the best way to get colors to really pop. And if anyone is an artist out there, it kind of works with acrylic paintings. So I'm just going to take that shade and Sativa for my outer corner shade. You can kind of see how it like pops a little more, because I want all of those colors to show through. And that gold shade I'm not really going to touch. Actually, you know what? I lied. I'm going to do a little bit, but I'm going to kind of keep it towards the center of the eye. Alright, and that's perfect. I love how you can see all of the individual colors. Alright, and today I'm not wearing any cream blush. Instead, I'm going to be wearing a powder blush. Maybe this shade for the outer corners and then this shade for the inner corners. And then slightly blend those together. And to kind of save time today, I am putting that dark brown shade on this side, and then on this side I'm putting that tan shade. That way I don't have to keep cleaning off my brush. And then just blend those two together. And then I'm going to be taking this shade, this eyeliner, the Colourpop eyeliner. This is a multi-chrome in Movie Star. And I'm just going to apply that to my eye. If I had a brown or like a nude shade, I probably would apply that instead of the chrome, but I don't have a nude shade. Alright, so that is the completed look. And for my blush, I use my Lancome blush in a Plum. This is just like a everyday pink blush. And I just applied a very light coat. And I love how it turned out. And then for my highlighter today, it's like champagne-y or like white shade. And I just took my fingers and I just tapped on that blush or that highlighter. And then I applied a little bit under the brows. But I'm actually going to be eating lunch right now, so nothing for the lips today. But this is how the eyes turned out. And I love this look. Actually, besides the natural one I did a few days ago, I love how this one is like so colorful. And I love that pop of gold on the inner corner. Welcome to day number 5. I'm going to be taking this shade in Natural. And I'm going to be applying this all over the eye. And this is such a beautiful green, and it has some subtle silver sparkle in it. Next, we're going to be taking this shade in Burn. And we're going to be applying that to the outer corners to kind of darken this up. And then next we're going to be taking this shimmery brown in Sativa. And I'm going to be taking a flat brush and just apply that right over that brown shade. And then I took this other fluffy brush and then I kind of added more. So I'm going to be taking this dark green shade again. And I'm going to be reapplying it because I want to fully coat my eyes with this because we're going to be applying a lighter shade. And then I'm going to gently blend those two colors together. And then I'm going to be taking this mint green shimmer shade in Candyland. And I'm going to use my fingers to apply it to the lids. Oh, I love this look so far. And then for my lips, I know this looks crazy right now, but I did put this on and I feel like it was a little bit too pink for this look. So I'm going to try concealer lips. For my concealer, I am using my Be Pure Hydrating Under Eye Concealer. And that actually works out because that was a lip tint and I wouldn't have been able to cover it up very well. So I'm going to be taking my LA Colors lip liner pencil. And it's just kind of like a pink color. Actually, it's more of like a burnt sienna color. And I'm just going to line my lips. And then we're going to go over all of that with my Le Mercerie Maximum Lip Shine. And this is a full coverage lip gloss. And I think I use this... Did I use this yesterday? I can't remember. If I did use this yesterday, then I guess you were seeing this twice. But I'm just going to be taking that and apply it all over my lips. And if you do this, be sure not to like mix your lips together. I just kind of press them together. And yeah, that is the completed look. And what I did for the under eye is I just used that same shade in Natural. And then I used the highlighting shade in Calm on the inner corners. And for my cheeks, I just used my McoBeauty Jelly Cheek Tint. And yeah, I just kept the lips simple and natural to go along with the blush because of course you want to bring attention to the eyes. I love how everything turned out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Welcome to day 6. For today's look, since I'm wearing like a more like colorful, brighter shirt, I'm gonna kind of do something slightly natural today while also going for using at least every single shade in this palette. So I think I'm gonna go in with this shade in Huff, and this is kind of like a shimmery brown color, and I haven't really used it this week, so we'll just do this. It's been a long week. So I'm gonna take that shade and apply that on the crease. And my brushes are screaming for me to clean them. Like these colors, I don't know if you can tell under my eyes, but these darker green shades especially, and also this one right here, they're pretty like staining on the lids. And even with makeup remover, I still have a greenish tint to my eyes, and actually under the lid you can kind of see I use so much makeup remover, and yeah, it's kind of staining. That's why I'm not gonna use my brushes because I have to scrub them down anyways once I move on to my next palette of the week. Yeah, so it's been like what, 6 days since I've used this, and I've been enjoying every single one of these colors. So then I'm going to be taking this shade in Cool, and this is a matte brown shade. And I'm going to be applying this just slightly under that other brown shade. Or slightly below it. And I'm just going to take my brush and kind of swipe it across, just to kind of deepen out that brown color. Every day since I've sat to do these little clips, I don't know what it is. It's probably because of my ADHD, but I've been itching to do other colors like purples, blues, craving any other color in my palette besides like all green. I'm not necessarily sick of green, but I don't know. I tend to get bored easier. And I just like want to play around more with color, I've noticed. So I kind of found that interesting. So I guess this is going to kind of be a little bit, I don't know how this look is going to turn out because we're going to be using this glittery shade here. This glitter here is actually a little bit more fine than the rest of the glitter, so hopefully I won't have any issues with this. And you know, I actually really love these colors together, like these two brown shades, because when I'm looking from afar, I do catch like glimmers of the shimmer even though it's slightly mixed. And then if I turn, you can kind of see the lighter parts of that shimmer. Or like the light kind of catches on those shimmers. So that's interesting. So then next we're going to be taking this shade in Exhale. And we have already used this at least once, but we're going to use it again. And we're going to be applying that to the lids. Yeah, so like my eyes, it's based on my reflection of the camera, it looks pretty like shimmery. These are really great shades. And I actually kind of like that subtle hint of pink in the middle, but I really want to bring out more of the silvery tones in the shimmers. So I'm going to be taking this shade in Hybrid, and this is just kind of like a really light silver glitter. And we're going to be applying that in the middles of the eye. So of course we're going to be taking my NYX face glue to help us out. And we're just going to put that where we're going to put that glitter. And I think I'm going to put it like in the middle of the eyelid. We're going to be taking this flat brush here. And you can kind of see there's actually like two different sizes of glitter. It's like a medium glitter and then like tiny, tiny glitter flakes. And we're just going to be applying that to the middles. And I'm probably going to end up going in with my finger. Okay, I really like that. Okay, so it looks like this brush does a really good job picking up all of those glitters. And I think it's because the glitter is really fine, which I really, really like. This glitter shade is just really gorgeous. And I kind of do a little swatch with the leftover. Like, look at that. Almost has like a wet glow to it. So this would actually be a really pretty shade over like a matte brown, which I'm gonna have to try maybe in a different video. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to go back in with this pinky shade here. And I'm gonna use my fingertips to kind of apply more of that pink back onto the lid. I don't think it's gonna do anything. Yeah, that looks really pretty. And of course, I don't want to like over apply it. But we're gonna be taking with my fingers again a little bit of this matte shade here, and kind of go toward the outer corner. Oh, I really love this look. Okay, so adding that extra coat of brown kind of makes it more, I don't know, like I guess it kind of like deepens up the look, which I really like. And what if we added a little bit more of that shade in Huff, but on the outer part? Yeah, I love that. You can kind of see all three of the main colors. I think I'm going to take this darker brown shade here, and I'm just going to use that as an under eye color. Okay, so there was leftover glitter on this brush, and it kind of transferred to my under eye. And look at how beautiful it looks over brown. That is so pretty. I just like that it's kind of like scattered as you kind of blend it. And it catches, like every single dot of glitter kind of catches the eye. I love that. I don't know, like messy under eye, like just slept in makeup. I think that's what it's called, slept in makeup. There's some really weird trends out there that I'm actually going to try coming up. But that's kind of what it reminds me of, because I just ever so slightly brought that dark tone out. And I'm not going to go anywhere, so I don't really care too much about how I'm looking right now. I just kind of want to test things out. So I'm going to be taking my LA Girl Perfect Precision eyeliner, and this is in the shade Metallic Silver, and this is just a really glittery eyeliner. And I think that would be really perfect with this look. So I'm going to be using this shade. This is in my Flower Beauty palette, and this shade right here, it's all black, and it has like glitter or like silver glitter in there. So I feel like it would be perfect for this look. And technically I could have used that dark brown, but I'm gonna break my own rule. And I'm just gonna kind of make a wing. But yeah, I actually had to tell my husband about that whole one night stand makeup trend. Like, who comes up with these trends? You know? Like, I know there's also another trend where I have actually tried it on my channel and I did like the outcome of it, where it's like messy, unbrushed hair trend, where you basically wear your hair like kind of messy, purposely messy. But you actually style it that way. You don't, I mean, I guess you could, you know, wake up and not brush your hair. But I guess that's going to be a potential trend for 2026. And what I did for that look is I actually straightened my hair. And then I kind of tousled it. And I kind of curled a couple of pieces like in the front of my face. And just to like try that out. And I don't know, like I really like that. I took my e.l.f. Putty bronzer and I just kind of contoured the cheeks a little bit, did the nose, went up here, my usual like bronzing, contouring areas. And then I took more of this, I swirled my brush in it, and then I kind of added it where I would normally put brush, but I kind of just stopped it like right here. And I kind of went a little bit heavy on that. And I feel like it looks really good. I also added my concealer right here, here. And then of course under the eyes. And I don't know, like it looks really good. And then I added my cream blush like usual, and I just added, and then that's when I went ahead and I applied the rest of my foundation. And I feel like it makes my face a little bit more like dewier. I am wearing the blush a little bit higher like near the eyes because that's kind of like where the trend is going for these days, except the blush you're actually supposed to stop like right here. But instead I've kind of brought it out a little bit more. And I think, I mean, I didn't mean to do that. It just kind of happened, but I'm just so used to wearing blush like right here. But nowadays, girls are wearing their blushes like it starts here from the eyes, and sometimes it even goes way in towards the eye or on the eye. So I just want to see what that looks like, and I don't know, I really like it. I feel like adding this putty bronzer made my face really, really glowy. I like it. Maybe next time I'm gonna stop the blush right here just to see how that looks, because then it kind of looks like I'm wearing too much. Okay, and I forgot to mention that for the blush, I am using my Be Pure Glow Up blush. And yeah, I really like it. And you know, over the top, I ended up putting my Project Pan blush from Clinique, and this is in the shade Ice Lotus. I just kind of put that up here. And for my highlighter, I am wearing my Wet n Wild Precious Petals. I also put on my Honey Pro Luxe setting powder under the eyes. And then For my mascara, I am using my L'Oreal Butterfly Mascara and then my Maybelline Sky High Mascara. And then for my lips, I want to try concealer lips again, except I'm going to try it with the liquid lipstick. So I'm going to be taking my AOA Studio matte liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Lush, and this is just like a really pretty berry color. I feel like it would tie together that blush. So I already have on some lip balm to make sure my lips are extra hydrated, and then I'll be taking this color. And I wasn't aware like a lip liner and all that, but actually I think I will wear lip liner. So let's do what we wore, or what we have been wearing, which is the Copper Bronze Lip Liner. And this is a little lighter, but I'm just gonna line my lips with this, so I can actually see the liner off camera. One thing I really like about these matte lipsticks is they're actually pretty drying in a good way. Like, I feel like I mean, that's obviously the matting part, but they dry and set really quickly. So I went ahead and lined my lips, and then I'm going to be taking the smallest bit of concealer, and I'm actually going to put some on my hand. We're going to be taking some and putting that on the very center of the lips. Kind of want to go for like an ombre look. I don't know how this is going to turn out, honestly. And it looks like we need a little more concealer. There we go. And when you do concealer lips, this is actually my first few times wearing them. You want to be careful not to press your lips together too much unless you're just clamping down. Like, don't press and move them, basically. You just kind of want to keep the concealer together without mixing it. Okay, I love that. That looks so good. Like, I never really thought before to mix concealer with lipstick. Like, I can make lighter shades with all my colors. I mean, look at that. This is the completed look. Hey guys, welcome to day number 7, and this is actually the last day of using this Revolution Chilled palette. I'm going to start off with this shade here in Dope, and I'm just going to apply that to the inner corners. And I honestly should have worn my cream shadows for this, but I'll probably use it in another look coming up. And I was talking about these shades here. I feel like I need to, because it's my project pan, I need to get more uses out of these. And then we're going to be taking that same shade and applying that to the inner corner. And I picked this shade because I feel like it has like copper tones in it, and it would just pair really well together. So I'm going to be connecting them. And then I'm going to be taking this shade here in Haze. And this one is just a really beautiful, kind of like a darker gold color, like a copper. And using my fingertips, I am going to apply that directly to the middle. I actually already applied that copper color, but I'm going to take this off. Okay, so I had to start over. So in the middle of the eyes, I'm actually going to be taking this dark brown shade in Burn. And I'm just going to be applying that to the middle of the eyes. Probably gonna have to end up reapplying the green anyway. I feel like using the copper on the very top of that brown will make it pop a little better. So that's what we're gonna do. And then I'm gonna be taking my NYX face glue and applying that to that brown. And hopefully this turns out how I want it. And that's where we're gonna go in with this shade in Haze. And I'm gonna be using my flat brush and apply that right over the brown. And I'm just kind of patting that on the eye. And then we're gonna go back and reapply that dope shade. Okay, and then for today's look, I kind of want to keep things a little bit more like warmer and like natural. And you can kind of see right here, I am so close to hitting pan on this bronzer. And I'm actually excited for that because I want to use a different colored bronzer. I might end up doing a blush overall. I'm so indecisive today. Okay, so I just applied my McoBeauty pressed powder. And I actually did not put any concealer on. And then I'm going to be adding this shade in Calm. Kind of like a light gold color. And I'm just going to put that on the inner corner. Alright, and this completes the look. So out of all the looks that I did this week, I'll put them on the screen here. I feel like my favorite look is the days when I played with the more natural shades. I feel like this look in particular really brought out my eyes, and I just feel like these colors are just really, really gorgeous. And one of my favorite green looks is this one right here. I really like how I incorporated the greens in this. And overall, this palette is really great. The consistency of this is actually kind of interesting. I would say this shade right here is a little bit harder to use. This is a shade I wore today. Like, I don't want to say it's not as pigmented, but it's kind of like, it's not as potent as the rest of the shades here. And I don't know if it's just because it's kind of like a flakier shadow. I'm not even sure, but I thought it was a cream, but it kind of applies and feels like a powder. But these shades right here, so the shade in Natural, Burn, Cool, and the Plant, the more matte shades, they feel more powdery than I would say this one right here. But this one right here is obviously a cream shade. So I just thought that was interesting. The rest of the shimmers in here are really beautiful, especially this one right here. My least favorite thing about this palette is these two ultra glittery shades here, Goddess and Bud. It was kind of like my first time like wearing it on my eyelids, and even using the NYX glue, I really found that they were just too chunky for me. They kind of made my eyes like feel itchy, and I don't know. I just, maybe I'm not a glitter person like I thought I was. It just didn't really feel good on my eyelids. So I'm probably going to end up depotting these once I've completely used up this palette, and I'll probably end up putting them in a nail polish or something, but I really didn't like these. Now, this one actually surprised me. It does look like a chunky glitter, but it's actually really fine. And I really like how colorful it is. I mean, not colorful. I like how it's really, really bright. And I feel like you can mix this with the darker colors, especially these colors. I feel like they would look really well together. But overall, this is such a great palette. I really love Revolution eyeshadow palettes, and I know this one is most likely discontinued because I've had it for a while. These are super inexpensive. My husband actually got this for me one Christmas, and that's basically how I fell in love with this brand. And yeah, like I just think these are just like one of my favorite makeup brands out there as far as affordability goes. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel for more eyeshadow palettes of the week. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, morning, night, whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.